Hi guys, and welcome to my very first YouTube how-to video. Now, today I'm hopefully going to show you how to convert this Bachmann 43X Great Western Loco. Now, the reason for this is because I've recently gone over to DCC, and obviously I've had to convert my engines to DCC, but unfortunately some of them are of the split chassis type, like this 43X. Now, I searched high on low on YouTube for a split chassis conversion video, but I couldn't find one. The only things I could find were forum sites with photos and descriptions. So I have come up with this idea on how to show you how to convert a split chassis. Now, some of them are hardly worth doing. The old mainline engine split chassis, I have done one, but it took me an absolute age to get it to run properly. The newer split chassis seem to be fine. I've done two already and they seem to be pretty much spot on. So today I'm hopefully going to show you how to do it. Now, as you can see, I have sort of like prepared this one, but I'm not happy with the way these are wired here, so I'm going to change them around, which means that I still have to take the chassis apart. So I am going to show you now on how to do that. It's a bit fiddly. Be prepared to break something. You can always glue it back, but just take your time and you'll be fine. Now, the first thing to do, hopefully, is we have to take the wheel sets out. Now, in order to do that, we'll need to gently get our screwdriver and gently prise off the cylinders and put them to one side. I first of all forgot to tell you that in order to get the actual body off, you have to undo two screws. I don't know whether you can see them here. There's two screws, one that sits underneath the front bogie here and one at the back there. You can always tell the difference because one is shorter than the other one. Okay, let's get back to this. Now we have to take the other cylinder off, like so, and put that to one side. Now, you get our Phillips screwdriver, which I have here, and we need to take the wheel sets out, and they are held in, if we can see, by two Phillips screws here. So, undo that one, undo that one, and hopefully the whole system should just gently lift out, like so. Okay, put that to one side. Now this is the fun bit. Now you take the wheel sets out, keeping them in the same orientation as when they came out. Okay, now we just have the bare bones of the chassis. Okay, now what we have to do is, there are two screws holding the chassis half together. One here and one there. So, one, two. Now the way this works is, I don't know whether you can see, but where these wires stick out here, there used to be two contact springs in there. Obviously this side would pick up the left track and this side would pick up the right side of the track. And what you've got to do is remove those two springs. Now I've removed those two screws, and hopefully, get our screwdriver again, just gently prise the chassis apart. And there we go. Put that to one side and whip the motor out. And there we go. We're halfway there. Well, I wouldn't say halfway, but so what I'm going to do, whip that off, whip that off. Now I will look in a minute to see how long the wires are, but we'll whip these off a minute and then we'll reconfigure. 1, 2. Okay. Right, okay, we'll just straighten them up. Now what I've got to do is, okay, today, I don't know whether you can see that, we are going to put just a cheap, simple 4-function Hornby decoder in. Basically the reason for this is because they are nice and small. Okay, unfortunately Bachmann decoders, some of them don't actually fit into Bachmann engines because they are a lot bigger. Most of my engines have got Hornby decoders in and they seem to work fine. I have tried a couple of Gauge Masters, they seem to fit as well. They are not quite as small as the Hornby ones, but they do come ready sheathed, which is quite handy. So we'll whip this out a minute. Okay, pair of scissors to get this out of the packet. And there we have it. Now, the main wires we are interested in are the orange, the white, the red and the black. Primarily, if you can remember this, it's very simple. Red and black go to the track. Orange and grey go to the motor. Now red goes to the right side of your pickups and black goes to the left. It doesn't matter which orientation the orange and grey go on your motor. So we'll just lay that on there a minute. Ow. Yes, they are going to be a little bit, we might just go at a squeeze. Well, might just go at a squeeze. I doubt it. So we may end up using those extensions. So what we've got to do, move that to one side a minute, is cut the plug off. Okay. Now you can reuse these plugs if you want to. I mean, I generally keep them. It doesn't take much to thread some new wires in and gently solder some new wires onto there, but I want as much length on these wires as physically possible, because I'm going to mount it on the angle there. Yeah, they are going to be a little bit too short, so I shall use these, I think. Find out where my join is on one of them, and we'll split it. There we go. Right, so well, it looks a bit, is that solder or is that could be solder. Right, this one I've reorientated it. I'm just going to trim it slightly. And it's going to go, I don't know whether you can see this, I've bring it over to here. And I shall do the same with this one, I think. Just trim that slightly, because that is a little bit on the long side. Okay, so that's that done. Now we just need to put a little bit of a shrink wrap wherever I put it, over here. Just shrink it down. Oh. With the soldering on. That's one side done. Okay, that one doesn't want to particularly want to go on there. Play ball. Move that out of the way a minute so I don't melt it. That's the other one done. Good. Back into the chassis. Make sure, get this here, make sure you've got everything insulated. Okay, otherwise one spark or one short and that'll be it. Your decoder will be finished, kaput. The blue magic smoke will appear rather rapidly. So we stick that back in there. Now we're ready to put the other half back on, hopefully, making sure that everything lines up. They are incredibly fiddly things to do, split chassis. But there we go. Put the screw back in. Now, you're probably thinking, well, where are you going to get the power from for your pickups? Well, one of the black wire will attach to this screw here that I'm screwing in now, and the red wire providing it fits in the chassis, but I'll sort that out later, is going to be mounted. I put a little brass grommet in there. God knows where I got it from, but I've had it kicking around in my box for a while. And the red wire is going to be mounted on there. So that's that part of the job done. Now hopefully we have no shorts. This is where we get our voltmeter. Set it on the settings where you get current if you've got a dead short. And there's no conductivity through the chassis, nothing in the motor, nothing through that wire, nothing through that wire. Right, we have there, and we have there. So that's a bit odd. Meaning the motor is touching somewhere, because that should be completely isolated. So that is rather strange. It could be up round there actually. Either that or my insulating tape has failed somewhere. This is why they are incredibly fiddly. Right, okay. Aha, yes, probably wet. We'll just stick a bit more around the top. Okay. Now you can see why a voltmeter is incredibly and vitally important. Right, try again. Now somewhere it hasn't gone back together, because we have rather a large gap. Better. There. Now why is that? Take that apart. There we go. In. Right. Right, and we shall now do the same test again with the voltmeter. So, that's better. We've got nothing there now. The needle isn't moving. There we go. Don't know whether you can see this. I'll just move it into shot. So we put the two contacts together, the needle moves. Okay, so we need to check both sides of the chassis. And there's nothing there. Absolutely nothing. So then we check the contacts through the motor wires. Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. Then we do this side. Nothing again. Nothing again. That means the motor is completely isolated, which is good. Right. Now we have the delightful bit of reassembly. So, find something just to sit that on a minute. I'll use my stripping pliers a minute. Now we have to reassemble the wheels, putting them back in the same orientation as they came out, otherwise you'll have problems. Sorry guys, you can't hardly see this, can you? Told you it was my first video. Right, now we have to put the valve gear back, or assemble the valve gear, making sure that we have left and right. That's one side. That's the other side. Pucker. Right. We are halfway there. We are back where we started. Okay, so now we need to connect the decoder to the body. Now I'm going to mount it there. So the first thing we have to do is get some more insulating tape. And wrap the decoder, making sure that nothing can touch the body so it can short out. Yes, I know you can buy, I would prefer to use a double-sided sticky pad to insulate it from the body, but I don't have any at this present moment in time. And this is a cheaper alternative. And the double-sided sticky, the insulating tape is less bulky than the white shrink tube. Right, so while the decoder is off the chassis, shall I stick it on there first? I think I'll stick it on there first for ease. So, bear with me, I'll go and get my tape. Right, now all I'm going to do okay, there it is. That's mounted on there now. Now all we've got to do is wire it up. So, we want the grey and the orange. Would actually just go there just nicely. How about the orange? Yep. Okay. Bit more heat shrink tube. Right. Come here. Right, what I need is some solder. We'll just tin the orange wire. Like so. We'll cut it down a bit. Get some solder on the end of my iron. There. Right, here we go. I didn't exactly want a girt blob. There. That's one. Grey wire. Now, yeah, we could actually attach, yeah, we'll disconnect the wall, that one from there. Tin the wire again, just twist it around. Okay, that's those two done. Shrink wrap those in a minute. Rethread the red. Just tin the red there a minute. Now it's going to go over to here. Ah, I didn't put a piece of shrink wrap on that one, did I? Wally. Right. I'm sure I cut a piece out somewhere. Right, okay, we'll just disconnect that a bit quick. Shrinky. Use some flux on there a minute. Okay, so let's just show you what I've done now. So we have the decoder here, and then we have our orange and our grey wires to the motor. We've completely insulated the motor. I can't specify enough how important it is that you don't have any piece of current whatsoever going through the two chassis halves and through the motor. Otherwise the magic smoke will soon appear from your decoder chip. When you test it with the decoder, yes, you will get a little bit of current going through the meter, but that is perfectly normal. Okay, so we have our wires going to our motor, we have our power feed to the right hand side of the track here, and then all I've done on this side, I don't know whether you can see it, but here I have attached the black wire for the left side of the track for the decoder. Okay, the other wires I've just, you can just see I've cut them off for the functions. I'm not going to have lights or anything on this engine. So there we go. The thing to do now is to put the body back on. Well, you can test it first. I'm fairly confident that I've got it right. So we're going to put the body back on, and then I'm going to set up my test track and we shall see how it goes. So to put the body back on, all we need to do, take out your screws that you put back in so you don't you didn't lose them. Now hopefully there's enough room in here. If there isn't enough room inside your chassis or inside your body, you may have to do some modifications. Some locos you have to actually cut either some material out of your ballast weight. The IVET tank that I did, I managed to put the decoder actually inside the cab. There's a little Great Western pannier tank that I've done, and a Colic Goods that I've done, a Great Western Colic Goods, all made by Bachmann. The forum said they were rather worried about extracting weight from the ballast to fit the decoder. That is a total myth. It's rubbish. You don't have to remove that much. All I've done with the ballast weights on there is I've just removed a section, the width and depth of the decoder, so it sits flush on top of the ballast tank, and then just taped it on, and it fits fine. There's no weight issues whatsoever. You're not losing that great amount of weight, to be perfectly honest. It's a load of codswallop. Hopefully in another video I can show you what I've done, if you'd like this video, of course. If you've liked this video, then leave a message at the bottom, subscribe. Hopefully I'll do another one, and the next one will hopefully be doing an IVET tank, which is it's very similar to this, but a little bit more tricky. So let's get this chassis back on the body, and hopefully, I have already tried this and it is a fairly snug fit. Typical when you're filming, it doesn't particularly want to go back on. There we go. That well. So, screw in there. This is when you find out that you've knocked a wire off. Right, let's see how magnetic this is. Not very. Okay. No problemino. Be simpler for me to take this off, I think. Didn't particularly want to. Let's loosen that off. Bring that round there, that's better. Oh, come on, you little seed. Get in there. Doesn't particularly want to go in there now. I see why. Better. You get up round there. Right, let's have another go. There we go. And there you have it. One converted split chassis engine. And now all we need to do is test. Okay, so here I have plugged my Dynamis in to the test track, and we are on, I don't know whether you can see that, we are on Locomotive 3, which is the general default code for all brand new decoders, and hopefully, fingers crossed, it should run. Should run. Let's have a go. There we go. I think my track is a bit dodgy. Here we go again. It's a bit jerky. Could do with a bit of playing around with the CVs. We'll bring it back nice and slow. But yeah, that's a bit jerky. We can smooth that out. Now is the fun bit. It's fine-tuning it to all your CVs to get it to work properly. But there you go. So there you go. A video on how to convert a split chassis loco to DCC. And as you can see, it's a little bit time consuming, but can be done. And hopefully you have enjoyed my video. If you have enjoyed it, leave a little message on the bottom. Leave a comment on the bottom of the video. Email me, whatever. I'm open for questions. My name is James Thick. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.